Are you in Babcock withdrawal yet?
I miss him. I've been watching the YouTube videos.
Just realized I've got something all over my tie. Hi, welcome to
Wow,
Sports Center.
that camera came dangerously close to us. We have an intern on camera tonight, Rennie, and I don't think he knows what he's doing.
Check the manual before you use the gym.
Oh,
Hi,
boy.
welcome to the show. You know what? I spent all day Monday not doing anything but looking forward to the Monday Nighter.
Do you ever do anything during the day?
I stoked the fire.
Is that literally or figuratively?
I literally stoked the fire.
Oh,
Like,
okay.
that needs a log.
Yeah, well, that is something. And how about the Seattle Seahawks and the Minnesota Vikings?
On paper, it was going to be a great Monday
Great
night.
matchup, Dan. You're absolutely right. On paper, this looked like a really nice Monday Night Football matchup on TSN because these are currently, Dan, the two wildcard teams in the NFC. The entire first half, they were going for it on 4th and 1 in the third quarter. Zimmy says give the ball to Latavius Murray, and Pete Carroll says here's Bobby Wagner.
It won't be.
Wagner, what a star. Vikings down 6-0 in the fourth. Kirk Cousins to Stephon Diggs. 48-yard pickup. Sets up Zimmer's Vikes in the red zone. So Minnesota going for it 4th and goal. Kirk Cousins. Pass will be knocked away by Bradley McDougald. Next Minnesota possession, Dan Bailey. Attempting a 47-yarder, and Wagner blocks it. The flag came down because Wagner got a little leverage on the block, but they actually picked that flag up, and the block counts. And after a Chris Carson TD made it 14-0 Seattle, Cousins stripped, and the ball's picked up by Justin Coleman. And Justin Coleman in those horrifically bad uniforms. I mean, my eyes are burning.
My eyes!
29 yards. The Vikes have not beaten a team with a winning record. Either way, this information comes to us from our good friend Andrew Siciliano from the NFL Network. In regards to the Seattle victory, next week Seattle needs a win, and they are into the postseason. Nobody would have expected it going into this season. The Vikings still hold the 6th seed in the NFC, as you can see, and the Bears now can win the NFC North next Sunday if they beat the Packers.
Nassau Coliseum, after a $165 million renovation, it's back, baby! Isles are playing 21 games at their old barn this season, and players, fans, opposing teams, they're all excited because the Coliseum is close to where Islanders fans actually live, meaning they'll actually show up, which they don't at games in Brooklyn. Isles last in the league in attendance. It always helps when the Pens come to town. Since entering the league, Sidney Crosby has torched the Isles. His 113 points are the most by anyone in the shootout era. Crosby leading the Pens, 15 goals this season, first period. Crosby avoids his own teammate, Jake Gunsel.
Interesting enough in Pittsburgh, Bearsy.
I don't know how they say he jumped 3 feet in the air.
Started that energy
Sure.
line, but Sullivan did not.
1-0 Isles in the second. Pens on the power play. Crosby
Evgeny Malkin.
on the rebound. Robin Leonard. Fairmays Laporte. Crosby, 36 career goals against the Isles, including one last week. Third period, still 1-0 New York. Crosby stopped. Scott Mayfield can't clear the puck. Derek Brassard scores. Gunsel forced the turnover. Brassard's 4th. Ties this game at 1. And they needed a shootout. Round 1, Phil Kessel, everyone's favorite, 5-hole. Josh Bailey, he's got to score to extend it. And whenever we say this, they never score. Except this time, scores. Keeps the Isles alive. Round 5, Valtteri Filppula on DeSmith. DeSmith with DeMitt. Hey, it's the dad's trip for the Pens. Next up, Gunsel, first career shootout attempt, 5-hole. Dads, they're going to be partying in Long Island tonight.
A lot of high fives. Joel Embiid was listed as questionable for Monday's game against the Pistons after he missed practice on Sunday. The reason?
I have migraine and diarrhea.
He had a migraine and diarrhea. His head and the toilet were taking a pounding. But he did make it into the lineup on Monday. He did say he's frustrated with his role since the Jimmy Butler trade the past couple of games. Starting on the perimeter, it frustrates me. Since the trade, it's been really down. I was in the flow of the offense. I feel like I'm not anymore. Embiid indeed out on the perimeter in the opening frame.
Appearance for him.
Heads to the basket and almost taken out by his own teammate Ben Simmons, who's wearing the headband.
And he clearly takes
Little confusion there. Later, Butler left the game with a strained groin, allowing Embiid a little freedom to work off the pick and roll. That's what he likes. He's averaging 13 in his last 3, but he had a team-high 24 in this one without Butler in the lineup. Meanwhile, Embiid also got to mix it up with his old pal, Andre Drummond. They have quite the feud going on, the two big men. Drummond here called for the foul on Embiid, and he throws away the ball in frustration, and Embiid says, "Where's the technical?" And he gets it. He gets that technical call on Drummond. The two have some words for each other, but nothing more. So we made a big deal out of nothing there, and Philly got the victory.
Here's a clear sign that it was a thin night in sports on Monday. The Pelicans and Celtics are in the first block of this TV show. That was Terry Rozier of the Celtics on the Celts' 5-game win streak. Rozier starting for the injured Kyrie Irving, who's out with a sore shoulder. Scores. Finds Daniel Tice for the two-handed dunk. Tice, that's nice. Rozier finished with 10.6 assists. Second quarter, Jason Tatum. Crossover. Only needs one hand to finish. 21 points. Celts extend their win streak to 6.
Grizzlies and Nuggets. Jaren Jackson Jr. Jackson Jr., top 5 in rookie scoring, had a team-high 20 when Memphis beat the Nuggets in November. Nikola Jokic is having a great season. Fast break. Look at this big man, 7 feet, 250 pounds, runs the floor and lays it in. Nuggets led by 5 at the break, fourth quarter. Jamal Murray. Canadian! Had 15 in the loss to Memphis last month. Nice move here to lose Marc Gasol. And then it is Jokic to Murray. Again, Canadian. He had 16. Jokic had 27 and 12 boards. Nuggets, what's their record? 18-9. Pretty good team. Pretty good. Coming up on this television program that you are watching, and we do appreciate it, the Leafs explain why they're feeling confident heading into Tuesday's matchup with the Hurricanes. You're watching Jay and Dan on TSN. Cavs and Bucks made a trade the other night, and they were playing each other on Monday. Giannis Antetokounmpo not in the lineup, neck stiffness. So it's Eric Bledsoe. Whoa, these uniforms.
What is going on there?
Whoa, these uniforms. Eric Bledsoe. Oh, the handles. Wow. Bledsoe stepping back and knocking down the 3. He had 4 from long range. He had 20 points. Again, these uniforms. Third quarter. Bledsoe kicking it out to Ersan Ilyasova, who looks like a young Leonard Nimoy. 20 points, 12 boards, 5 assists in 28 minutes. Bledsoe and the Bucks beat the Cavs, who are not good.
Long jam at the top of the Western Conference in the NBA.
Hey, Tim, can we get that picture of that LA Express to USFL logo? Because that's like identical. Maybe that's what they were going for.
I like it.
Trump owned a team in that league?
Yeah, and then he only did that so he would have an in to get an NFL team, and they said that's not going to happen, and then he ruined the league.
Wow. Oh, the hockey song, do you want to play that? Why not?
Yes.
That's a happy accident.
Yeah, Nabesy said it was an accident. He's our sound guy. Yeah, happy accident.
Well, he's too busy thinking about the gym. He's there like 4 times a day. The Leafs lost their last 2 games to division rivals who sit below them in the standings. The latest, the 6-3 loss to Boston Saturday. There's questions about the Leafs' lack of toughness. On Monday, Connor Brown bumped up to the first line to fill in for Zach Hyman, who's suspended. Maybe add a little bit of grit. Leafs and Hurricanes are playing on Tuesday, and you're going to see that game on this network, TSN 4 to be exact. Nabesy, let's crank that music up. Nabesy probably works out to this music.
Actually, I bet you a lot of Canadians do.
It's motivation.
It's the ultimate jock jam. The Edmonton Oilers picked up their 3rd straight win Sunday night, beat the Flames 1-0. Connor McDavid scored the game's lone goal. Mikko Koskinen stopped all 24 shots he faced for his 3rd shutout of the season. Koskinen, man, this guy is excited. Just have a listen.
I don't really care about the numbers. The only thing what I care is the wins, because I need to win the games, and we need to win the games here if we're gonna be a successful team and win something big in the end of the year. So that's the only thing what we need to be worried about, is the wins.
I get the sense that you don't like talking about yourself.
No, it's not my thing.
I want to hear Koskinen on a roller coaster. Wee.
Koskinen will be played by Anthony Edwards of ER fame in Mikko, the Mikko Koskinen story.
Look where Hitch ranks among all the new coaches that have taken over teams during this season. Wow.
Meanwhile, 7 different players found the back of the net for the Jets in their 7-1 win over the Flyers on Sunday. The offensive surge came 2 days after Winnipeg was shut out by the Blues on Friday. Patrick Laine snapped the 4-game pointless streak with 2 assists on Sunday. He's known for his goal scoring. He's got a ton of them this season, but he hasn't scored a goal in 5 games.
I've been playing hockey for many years, so it doesn't always go in. I think every hockey player knows that. Sometimes it's going in and sometimes it's not. And now in a few games it hasn't gone in, and doesn't matter. We're still winning as a team, and that's the most important thing.
Look, Connor, he could be played by David Spade in Kyle, the Kyle Connor story.
David Spade, one of the most underrated stand-up comedians.
He's a funny guy. He tells a great story when he's doing interviews. He's great on like
He's
Stern,
a great guest.
talk shows. Yeah, Ellen loves having him on. Like everybody. It's not
You know
just
who
the
doesn't like him?
Who's that?
Producer Tim.
Yeah, that makes sense. He doesn't like fun.
He just got an ear. Yeah, he sucks.
Wow. Tim, he's just trying to
What
make
did
it in the
David
stand-up
Spade
comedy
do to
world.
you?
Yeah, what's he done to you, Tim? See if Patrick Laine can light the lamp when the Jets host the Blackhawks tomorrow. Can we hear this music? Matthew Perreault will be a game-time decision.
That's Tuesday.
Did I say a different day?
He said tomorrow.
Oh, right. That's Tuesday. Exactly. That's Tuesday. Because for some of you, today is Tuesday.
On Monday, Argos hired Corey Chamberlain as their new head coach. Chamberlain, a former assistant head coach and defensive coordinator in the organization.
Looking forward to Michael McDonald playing Jim Pop in Pop, the Jim Pop story. Should be good. Chamberlain, the 44th head coach in team history. I think we had that there. Mark Trestman, you were wondering, hasn't been hired by anybody. So maybe we could bring him on here as our CFL insider, our own personal CFL insider.
We've got one, Dave Naylor.
That's right. He won't take our calls.
Well, according to Naylor, BC Lions, they've offered Don Claybrooks their head coaching job.
Oh, yeah.
Claybrooks has been the Stamps defensive coordinator for the past 3 seasons, and his defense has given up the fewest points in the league in each of those years. I love this guy, gets fired up.
He is
Claybrooks
intense.
spent 4 years as the Stamps defensive line coach.
BC finished the year 9-9, and 3 Down Nation, which is a CFL blog, reported the Dallas Cowboys could have been a landing spot for Claybrooks as the team's defensive line coach.
We need to go deeper on the David Spade issue.
Producer Tim really not a big fan of David Spade.
But I don't get it. He's not like a mean comic. He's snarky.
He's kind of snarky. Yeah, he's got that snarky persona.
No, he's extremely funny. They're now debating in our ears.
You know what? I think his books were really funny. He's funny on talk shows. Like we said, tells a great story. I don't think he's the greatest stand-up in the world, personally, but I think he spins a good yarn.
If you see him on Norm Macdonald's show.
Oh, very funny.
Yes.
On whatever that, some streaming thing. Crave TV, I think. Following a 56-point loss to the Celtics Saturday, the worst in Bulls franchise history, new head coach Jim Boylen tried to schedule a Sunday practice. And that led to reports that some Bulls players were trying to arrange a boycott of that practice. They're already tired of this coach. Boylen responds on Monday. It's not true they didn't want to have practice. They means everybody. This is not true. I don't like that narrative. The truth is we had a couple of guys who thought a Sunday practice was excessive. And they have to trust me. If I bring them in here to practice, I'm going to manage their legs and manage what we're going to do. Jim Boylen, I'm going to manage their legs. There are reports that Boylen likes to have video sessions following losses, like immediately after losses. That's got to be fun. Zach LaVine, 19 points. And look at the reaction from Robin Lopez. Now, Bulls shot 57% in the first half. Did I mention they were taking on the Kings? Nope, didn't do that. De'Aaron Fox, 2 first-half points, gets the steal, throws it down. He had 23 in the second half. The Kings outscore the Bulls by 30, and they go on to win it 108-89, by 30 in the second half.
Jazz and Thunder, 9 seconds of the first quarter. Jazz down 11. Donovan Mitchell throws it up. It goes down. Yes, guy. Yes, die. Yes, die. Third quarter, Paul George. Near perfect from beyond the arc, sinking 5 of 6. 4 of them coming in the third quarter. George finished with a game-high 31 points. He only took 10 shots. George steals the pass.
Oh.
Lobs it up to Jeremy Grant in transition. OKC opens up a 25-point lead, outscoring Utah 42-29 in the quarter. How about Russell Westbrook? Had 12 points, feeds Steven Adams. Westbrook earned his 3rd straight triple-double. Yeah, he only had 12 points, but he also had a triple-double. Thunder win.
This Thunder defense.
And now it's time for the Jannies. I'm wearing buffalo plaid there. Pens and Isles, Jake Gensel to Phil Kessel. Robin Lenny with a beautiful pad stop.
Jason Tatum attacks and destroys.
Leaf fans, remember this guy, Leo Komarov, now plays for the Isles. Chance it tight, Casey DeSmith. Oh, what a save.
Dylan Larkin. Saw this one earlier. Watch this. Oh, around Drew Doughty. Oh, around Jonathan Quick. Have they opened that new Shinola Hotel in Detroit yet?
I'm not sure, Dan, but I believe Doughty had praise for Larkin before this game happened. Said some nice things about him. Luka Doncic, a lot of people talking about him. He stumbles. Nikola Vucevic gets the pass to Jalen Brunson, and he gets the shot to go.
Mike Conley spots Jaren Jackson. Left-handed finish.
He gets the ball that wing on penetration from Conley.
Jaren Jackson Jr. Vikes and Seahawks. Seattle. Russell Wilson.
Oh, no.
Where are you going?
Oh, boy.
That'll be picked off. That's a mistake. Seattle would win this game easily, however. And if they win next week, they are into the postseason. Incredible.
Lakers and Heat. LeBron doing LeBron things. Oh, my goodness.
Hammer job. LeBron James.
We got a lot of Jannies. Drew Stafford from a horrible angle beats Martin Jones in the Devils-Sharks game.
LeBron this time dishing. Lonzo under the basket.
Wow.
Misses.
Great pass.
And misses.
Oh, man, Lonzo.
Lonzo with an absolute gimme. Couldn't finish it.
Before we get to the plays of the week, just want to take a second to say how great it is to have my pal back with me. Haven't seen him for a bit, but he sure was missed.
Thank you. I do
Camera
appreciate it.
op, Rennie. Rennie, you, sir, you are a true friend. The entire crew missed you.
Sports Center with Jay and Dan is what he meant to say. Presented by Tim Hortons. He forgot that, too.
You ever try to make your own hash browns?
All the time. I mean, I don't personally cut them up. What do you use to cut up French fries? Like a mandolin or something like that? Yeah, a mandolin. I don't do that. I just go into the bag in the freezer, throw it in the oven. Kid loves them. You know, Dan, World Junior Camp's about to get underway for Team Canada. We're off to Victoria next.
Mandolin.
Great highlights today. Canada's World Junior Camp opens in Victoria Tuesday. Head coach Tim Hunter met with each player individually, and he's very clear on what he expects Team Canada's identity to be. And now it's time for a very special edition of Masters Lock with our good friend Mark Masters, who's covering the World Juniors from beautiful Victoria, BC. Mark, goaltending for Team Canada, always an intriguing position going into camp. This year, is there a clear-cut number one tender?
I think so. I think it's Michael DiPietro. He was the last goalie cut last year. He's won a Memorial Cup a couple years ago with Windsor. He was taken to the men's senior worlds last year by Hockey Canada to groom him for this moment. I think he's built for it. Ian Scott out of Prince Albert, the Raiders, has had a great year in the WHL. Maybe he pushes DiPietro, but I'd be surprised if Michael DiPietro isn't the starter on Boxing Day.
And then just 2 returning players this year, so it's going to be a young team. Is there a little concern about lack of experience, Mark?
I'm sure that there's a little bit of that. They get Alex Formenton, Maxime Comtois. They're still holding out hope that maybe Robert Thomas will be loaned from the St. Louis Blues, but at this moment doesn't look like that's going to be the case. So certainly the fact that they only have those 2 and none on defense, there'll be some question marks with that, but they're pretty confident. They want to be a fast group. They want to kind of follow to an extent the blueprint set out last year, which was, a really deep team, a lot of scoring from all areas of the lineup, and so I think they feel like they have the depth and that can overcome any lack of experience.
And I understand that TSN is already taking care of your bill tomorrow. High tea at the Empress Hotel. Mark, enjoy it. You deserve it. Nobody deserves it more.
I agree with you. Thank you.
Mark Masters, looking forward to talking to him a whole bunch over the next few weeks. 2019 World Juniors Boxing Day exclusively on TSN. And Morgan Frost is the son of legendary Toronto radio DJ and former Leafs PA announcer Andy Frost. He has that amazing voice.
He used to do an overnight show, and he'd say it's Frost overnight.
Yeah, and he used to DJ at the Phoenix Concert Theater when I was going to Ryerson, and he would say some funny stuff over the PA that I can't repeat on television.
What a legend.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
St. Louis Blues, they're coming off a 6-1 loss to the Canucks on Sunday. They've just 3 wins in 10 games since Craig Berube took over as interim coach. At Monday's practice, yeah, they're frustrated. So much so, Robert Bortuzzo and Zach Sanford got into a scrap. Bortuzzo landed a couple solid shots. Fight was eventually broken up. The team did not comment on it after it. But Vladimir Tarasenko said after Sunday's loss, quote, "I apologize to all our fans. We can't play at home like this," end quote.
Darren Pang, friend of our show, color guy for the Blues, seems to think this might be a good thing because the Blues are having a terrible season. It's a disaster.
Yeah, they're a point out of last in the West.
After the Dolphins' stunning win over the Patriots on Sunday, that last-second play with a couple of laterals, Kenyon Drake scored the game-winning touchdown. He threw the ball into the stands. He now regrets that. Took to Twitter, says, "Love to have the ball back, but I threw in the stands after the touchdown yesterday. For the lucky fan, we can make a deal that'll be worth your while." No chance he's getting that ball back.
Well, if they're good negotiators, season tickets, 4.
I mean, that's a lot. That's a lot. I just think if you have that ball and you're a diehard Finns fan, and that's like one of the great moments for that team that hasn't had a lot of great moments over the last decade. I'm probably keeping it.
Sell it to Marlins man.
Yeah, Marlins man would pay for that, for sure. Good
Big
point.
time.
Which leads us to the worst play of the day. Russell Wilson. This is a bad decision. Did not cost the Seahawks, however. They got the victory. They are the surprise of the NFL this season. Pete Carroll, genius.
Time for the highlight of the night. Dylan Larkin. You said Drew Doughty was saying nice. Drew Doughty is like becoming the elder statesman of the NHL.
Yeah, he had high praise, as Nick Cage would say, for Dylan Larkin going into this game, and I assume afterward as well.
I had a dream that someone I knew had Nick Cage as like their father-in-law. It was weird.
That's weird.
You blew it. Is where we pointed our errors. I said that Nassau Coliseum was now called something else. Supposedly it's still called Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. I thought it had a corporate sponsor. I fumbled to say yes guy during the OKC pack.
Oh, yeah.
We both blew it, according to Andrew Zwarich, one of our people that do things here. I don't know his title. Both our Andy Frost impressions are terrible.
Oh, really? I thought ours was pretty
What's
good.
Zwarich's title?
And can we see the LA Express, LA Clippers?
Story
Can we
editor.
see it? LA Clippers, LA Express. Can we see that? I mean,
Yes,
right?
You're bang on.
Right? I like those Clippers. That's what the Clippers should go
That's
with.
great. And they're sponsored by Bumble?
Bumble.
And Tim said both of us blew it during the top 10.
I thought we were pretty good in that top 10.
Yeah, he sucks.